Welcome back. This is the how-to shoe video. So we're going to take a look at what makes a good shoe. So this is a running shoe. Like I've already told you, I like Asics, Brooks, Mizuno, and Saucony. They're my favorite. They're likely going to have all the features that I'm looking for in a good shoe. So what are those things? So the first thing that I'm looking for, especially for a running shoe, is how thick this is. So making sure that there is a adequate rubber, shock absorbing sole to the shoe is really important. The second most important thing that I'm going to be looking for, especially for people with ankle problems, which is me, so many ankle sprains, is this hard molded plastic here. It should make a satisfying, it should be very, very rigid. So an example of not a good shoe, which is also mine, this. So there is nothing hard to help me control my ankle. It can completely fold in. This is not a good shoe for my ankle. I really liked how it looked, so I don't run in it, but I know that it's not the best for my ankles given how many ankle sprains that I've had. So other good things that we're looking for, so we're looking for how much toe extension there is. There should be some. I call it the sleeping bag test. So you know how a sleeping bag can roll up? If you have a shoe that can roll up in half or pretty far, that is not a super supportive shoe. So sleeping bag test for sure, an athletic shoe needs to pass in order for me to give it a recommendation. So sleeping bag test, the heel cup test, the sole thickness, and then also kind of a torque and twist test. So seeing how much, if I twist the shoe, you want a little bit, but not a lot. And so that's why I like this shoe, because it has those kind of essential features that I'm looking for. So that is athletic shoes. So you can do the same thing for your other shoes. So I got a nice hard plastic molded cup back there to help me control my ankle. I have a heel, a small shock absorbing heel. There's some extension available in the toes, and there's not a bunch of twist available in the shoe. Like I can't completely curl it up or wring it like a towel. And so those are the things that I'm looking for there. And so then again, looking at whether the heel cup is back there or not, and then seeing how much extension there is. This fails the sleeping bag test clearly, and then this one, this is actually the worst one that you've seen. It actually, you can wring the shoe. So this is not a super supportive shoe. It's very nice and lightweight, and it's very stylish, but not a good shoe for me given my ankle issues, and I can tell that because my ankles do get kind of sore when I wear them. Same thing with ballet flats. So most ballet flats obviously are not going to pass the testing, but literally you can check out any shoe and see if it passes and decide whether or not that's a good shoe for you. When it comes to some of the other specific conditions we were talking about, like the big toe arthritis. So this is what we were talking about, like in terms of the stiff sole. So ideally, you wouldn't want a shoe that actually did this. You would want a shoe that was it. There would be minimal available toe extension, so that way you wouldn't overstress that big toe arthritis. Let's talk a little bit about orthotics. I've had a couple of people not know that all shoes have their own insole. When you use an orthotic, and say you do take my recommendation, you go get Super Feet, take this out, use it as your stencil. If that's the pair of shoes you're most likely to be using your Super Feet in, use it as your stencil, and then leave this out and put the Super Feet in. Sometimes people don't know that they're supposed to take this out, and they are like, well, how is my foot gonna fit in there with the Super Feet and basically that insole, and that insole is supposed to come out. So that is that. So now let's talk about shoe mileage and how long shoes last for. So for a runner, they usually say your shoes should be replaced every 300 to 500 miles. The rubber in most running shoes is made of something called ethyl vinyl acrylate, EVA. That substance becomes less shock absorbing after about 1 year. And so whenever you're buying a pair of athletic shoes and you do run a fair amount, you should actually buy shoes that are new and not shoes that are for sale, because the shoes that are for sale, that EVA is probably already worn out and no longer very supportive. So that doesn't mean you need to break the bank and go get a $160 pair of shoes. Use these tips. Take a shoe off the shelf at a store and see, does it have a hard heel cup? Can I not fold the back of the shoe in? Does it have a good amount of toe extension but not too much, so ideally it doesn't roll into a sleeping bag? Torque and twist, and how much heel does it have? And those are the things that I would be looking for. When it comes to other things like minimalist shoes, the toe finger shoes, I don't love those. I don't recommend them because a lot of times they change the way that you run and the body just can't handle it. And so I don't typically recommend those. Most of us, because if you were raised in the United States, you have always been running in running shoes. And so you are typically more comfortable being a heel or midfoot striker. And that's fine because you have that supportive heel, versus if you're in the 5-finger toe shoes or in Vibrams, then you will actually be more likely to land on your toes, and you'll become a toe runner when you've always been a heel runner, and people will get increased knee pain behind their kneecaps and their shins as well. So changing running mechanics can be quite difficult as well.